Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's the NFL podcast, Laces Out. I'm joined today by co-host Paul Williams, Stu Woodmansey, and Matthew Moore. In one way or another, they've all come to join us for our NFL podcast. So here we go, this is Cookiecast, Laces Out.
Oh, you fucking slut!
I thought you were going to start with and one, and two, and one, two.
I mean, I'm assuming. I know this isn't the football podcast, but I'm assuming that Matt, you were lolling massively at what happened at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last night.
Like, I was going out in the car, touchdown. And I was like, oh, one each, not doing too bad. Come home, have tea, watch a bit of other telly, turn it back on, 7-2.
At half time, I was still on for the quarter of a million on Super Sixes at half time. I think that's the furthest I've ever got.
Nice. I had a quick look at a stat that someone brought out today, and apparently, number of goals scored in the new Tottenham Stadium: Harry Kane 4, Serge Gnabry 4. It was like.
I think we've started with the wrong shape goal.
And when you see him, it's like, oh my god, that Gnabry. I'm like, oh, that rings a bell. I'm like, oh, he's the one who was dog shit for Arsenal, and then dog shit for West Brom, but then smashed in 4 against. Well done, lad.
Yes, this is the kid that Tony Pulis said is will never amount to anything, and will never make it as a winger.
I think as has been well covered on previous podcasts.
Oh God,
TP knows his stuff.
TP knows what he's talking about.
Don't keep that.
If what you're talking about is dull as fucking anything football, then welcome to Rantcast. Nice.
Move that back if you need to.
I'm just conscious that I think Paul's gonna.
Well, if I just do that,
Ta-da.
that definitely spiked something. Oh no!
Run.
Oh!
Hello?
Oh no!
Hello.
Hello?
That'll be Leanne's phone.
Should we start this again? Has it gone too far?
What's going on?
Landlord now answer.
Are you still there, Matt?
Yeah, what are these beeping noises going on?
It was. We think Leanne's phone was connected to the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth device.
It wasn't that. It knows you.
That's not the first time she's...
Huh?
He's dropped out, I
Not
think.
the first time she's been swooping in and intercepting, and I thought I'd put in a nice little offer there for Odell Beckham, and then she swoops in with the Amari Cooper. I was like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, not ideal.
I still have no idea what's going on with all this trading business, but still. Other than which ones not to
I'd
accept.
offer Juju Smith-Schuster.
Welcome to Laces Out in the club style.
Word to say.
It's a very, very hard word to say.
I know. The shit Antonio Brown.
Oh, boo. I had him in my other league, and I've finally had to bite the bullet and just drop him.
What, Antonio Brown?
Sad times.
Has anything actually come out about that yet?
Everybody else.
No, he's just basically without team.
And any kind of moral compass.
Vince going to give him next year to be in the XFL. He's going to make a shit ton of money.
I did see that he...
Can bring him in as Bad News Brown.
Was his tweet that he was done with football, or was that he was done with the NFL?
I think he's done with the NFL.
I thought that's what he said, which is basically code for, hi, is that Vince McMahon?
Yeah, I mean...
I'd like a contract,
He'll have already had offers, won't he?
Of course he will.
He'll have already had offers.
It's like, they've been saying, haven't they, that they think that Johnny Manziel, they'd be surprised if he's not on a franchise in the XFL as well. Johnny Football. And if he is, I wonder if they'll do some cross-branding between Johnny Football and Johnny Wrestling.
Well,
oh yeah,
in a kind of I am your father kind of way or not?
Just in a, oh, isn't it funny that we have the same sort of name? Oh.
Now that we've got all that out of the way. Does anybody... Guess does the intro?
Which one of them?
Yeah, man.
Well... Matt's like, the coal's dropped out. I'm going through a tunnel. I'm running in the canyon. Can I just say at this point in time, I don't know if anybody on the camera can see our brand new, thanks to Stuart Woodmansey, branded microphones.
Nice.
It's probably the wrong way for...
Who knows?
So all this time that you were saying you're all stressed at work, Stuart, over the past couple of weeks, and you've just been busy making...
No, that's no.
He's been sorting out all the branding for the podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, for any people listening
I'm
from Stu's work,
I'm so stressed at work.
we are live.
Oh, man.
I can't get this to print right.
I definitely have not had time to use Works printers for any other
He
thing.
hasn't even had time to wipe his ass.
I don't care if you want your fucking student loan.
Do you understand the stress I'm under?
I'm just putting the disclaimer in the air. That is absolute horseshit. So thanks, Matthew.
And in local news...
So, Matthew or Stuart has to do the intro.
Go on, Matt. You can do this one. I've
Come
been on
on.
before.
Welcome.
It genuinely has dropped out. I think he's just turned it off. Oh, what? Anyway,
He's like, oh,
there we go. Try again, Matt.
oh.
What?
What?
Give it the intro. Go on, lad.
I don't think he knows what he...
For the intro, for the wrestling podcast?
No. We're doing football first.
Give him this.
You're springing things on me now.
That's what she said.
Oh no.
I'll lead you in, Matt. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Oh, he's done it again!
It has. We might genuinely have to do this on yours because I'll put that over there because it's not working very well. Technical
I was gonna say things
issues.
are dropping out, so I'm not quite sure.
Just put that over there and then.
I keep on hearing my name and saying I'm like perhaps doing something or not doing something that they should be doing, and I'm like, what the fuck's what am I actually doing?
If I put it next to it, is it not going to...
It's Wi-Fi, so it should be all right. There's no. Welcome to the 90s cast.
There was the week that we didn't realise putting the speaker next to the microphone was going to cause any issues.
So everybody else is like, welcome to Laces Out, and Matt's like, yes, right down the microphone.
It was just halfway through, it was like, I'm like, oh no. Turned out it was fine in the end because it was actually one of the cameras that was picking up the interference, not the microphone.
You imagine if that had done that on Cookiecast? It's like, yes.
Supreme irony level 95.
So due to technical issues,
Matt can't do the...
Matt can't get... Oh?
So it's what? Sorry,
He's there. He is there.
Oh.
is it fixed?
Yeah,
I think
seems
so.
to be.
It seems pretty stable right now.
Well, that was it. Because before it was just dropping in and out and making funny noises and like yeah.
Well, my voice has been described as worse things, Matt, so, you know. Right then. Let's get this...
Let's get this
Show
show on the road. So...
What are we, week?
Well, it's week 4 review. Week 5 preview.
Well, this is out.
So we're looking back
Looking back.
at week 4 and then looking forward.
Call from Mum.
No! 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 Oh God! Oh God! He couldn't get much worse.
We are cursed.
Whoever said this was a 2-bit operation was so wrong. We are fully.
Hello.
He's here. He's still here.
I'm still here. If we're kind of.
He is still here.
You still here, ladies and gentlemen?
So,
Call from Mum.
honestly,
Oh no, that's gone off as well. Has that gone off?
I don't know.
Matt?
It looks like he's...
Oh, is here?
It started beeping again.
it did.
Yeah, we're trying to rectify that.
We are trying to rectify it.
So, week 4. What happened? What was the biggest story? I don't know, there's 2 for me. So, there was the absolute massacre between... Oh, right.
Go on.
There was the absolute massacre that happened in Los Angeles between the Rams and the Buccaneers that nobody saw coming. However, there was the stellar performance by the Browns in Baltimore that I don't think a lot of people saw coming. Those were the 2 biggest shocks for me.
Nobody on this podcast saw it coming, let's put it that way.
Aye.
Yeah, me sticking the Rams defence in was not. I was not a happy camper over the weekend.
Well, from a fantasy aspect, you were quite right to be annoyed. But from a watching the game's perspective, any other things that people picked up on?
I mean, I've got a bunch of stats and things.
Oh.
Unfortunately for me, I believe the first 3
Right?
Patriots based.
Oh no.
I've got a
Oh no.
couple of things, but you might pick them off in the interim. On the back of that thing about the Rams defence, it was the Buccaneers' highest score in franchise history.
Yes, I did see
Doesn't
that.
surprise me.
55 points. Still, is it? I'm assuming it's pretty odd that a team will score in the region of around 40 points and still end up losing.
Me and Leon were having this conversation. She was saying her dad had asked her what was the highest score, what's the highest score, and I was like, well, it happened last year.
Was that the Rams
Rams
game
Chiefs.
then? Yeah.
Chiefs.
That was ridiculous, to be fair. Highest win or highest score in the Bucs franchise. Which is impressive, I suppose, for a guy who's only in his 4th game as the head coach.
And as well,
Bruce Arians is the coach, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he was where was he at?
He was at Arizona for
He
ages.
was at Arizona and did a great job. And he's like one of these kind of. He was an offensive guru for years, wasn't he? At Philadelphia, I want to say. He was credited for all Pittsburgh. I can't.
He was at Indianapolis for a while, and then when Chuck Pagano had a cancer scare, he took over the offense at Indianapolis.
He had the cancer issue.
I don't know what Andy's saying.
The cancer issue. He had the issue with his cancer.
Well, yeah.
that small thing.
Roman Reigns.
I now know what he's saying.
He had the cancer issue.
He had that cancer thing. It's a go at me.
No.
Banter. Top banter.
what else did we have this week? It was I picked out that the team that the Saints had beat the Cowboys without even scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
It was all
4 drilled field goals from Mr. Will Lutz.
I have a feeling my Patriots thing might be on Andy's list, but
Yeah.
Well, like I say, it's heavy. It's a heavy start for the Patriots.
Do you want to launch into some of those stats then?
I certainly can. I'm just trying to do my homework that I should have done.
Andrew,
I fully intended to
Andrew,
do
are
it.
you saying that you've come to class
I've
without
come to
having
class.
done your
The
homework?
dog ate a lot of my homework.
But you're unacceptable.
I just got a little reminder of something to discuss later.
Oh, God.
I had to set a reminder because it was so fantastic. I can only imagine that Stu is super excited.
Oh, it's going to piss you off so much.
Right, NFL Week 4 stats. Credit goes to the stats mistress, who is today on the phone to her mum.
Just the once or like 3 times?
9 times they were on the phone today.
Anyone who's tuning into the podcast at this point is aware that they basically know exactly what's been said as well.
There was a phone call, I believe. I did say, credits to the stat ministers. Credit also goes to Nate Davies of USA Today, as we like to throw out where we actually stole the stats from.
Stole.
Borrowed.
Stole.
Oh, God. There's many. I think last week they were trimmed down. This week, I'll see how I get on. Stat number 1, week 4. New England defence off to an epic start in 2019, surrendering its first touchdown since the 2018 AFC Championship game. No other defence in the Super Bowl era has kept opponents out of the end zone over the first 3 weeks.
Is that the stat you had?
Nope.
Monstrous.
Interesting.
2. Patriots safety Devin McCourty picked off another pass, making him the first player since 2003 to record an interception in the first 4 games of the season.
Wow.
3. Tom Brady was brutal Sunday. 18 for 39, 150 yards. I'm not sure if that's saying that there was an interception.
No, as in like I think
or
he did.
no interception.
No, I think he did throw a pick. It was not one of his better games. Let's put it that way.
But notched his 31st win in 34 starts against Buffalo since 2001.
Absolutely insane.
Other quarterback has beaten a single opponent as many times during the Super Bowl era. Brady's 45.9 passer rating was his worst in 13 years.
Did you see that stat as well? This might be what you've got. That Brady has more wins in the Bills stadium than any Bills quarterback since he started playing there.
It's not a stat, man. It's just more of a fact, but it wasn't it either.
Absolutely mental. That just goes to show just how bad the Bills are, or how good Brady is, depending on which side of the coin you fall on.
Both.
Ooh, shots fired.
Number 4, Bills running back Frank Gore deserves a note of his own here, becoming just the 4th player in the NFL's 100 seasons to amass 15,000 career rushing yards. With 249 more, he will surpass Barry Sanders, which is 15,269, for 3rd on the all-time list. It's one of those things that Frank Gore...
He's just one of those guys who just seems to just keep going.
Yeah. Just keeps going.
Keeps churning.
Keeps it going.
It would be interesting to see how his 15,000 kind of yards compares like per carry one. That kind of stat compares to when it's like Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, and Barry Sanders ahead of him. And
but it's not
quality. The quality of running backs that he's ahead of, and you're like, yeah, I've had Frank Gore on my fantasy team. He's shit. He's just like, it's like let's get Frank Gore on my fantasy team. It's gonna be great. Oh no, it's terrible. He's gone for his average is 2.6 yards per carry, and you're like, that's a nightmare. It's like an endurance award. It's like it's a 100% attendance at the end of the school year. You're still shit, you don't have an app, but you came, so well done.
You turned up, we've got to give you something.
But isn't it something ridiculous? Obviously you said that Emmitt Smith's at the top. He's got something ridiculous 22,000 yards. Absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm. Crazy dog. Let's have a look. Number 5, Larry Fitzgerald snatched his 1,326th career catch Sunday, moving him past Tony Gonzalez for 2nd place all time behind Jerry Rice, 1,549.
So basically, as soon as he retires 5 years later, he'll have that space in Canton.
The New Orleans offense has yet to truly take flight since quarterback Drew Brees went down, failing to eclipse 300 yards in the past 3 games. though the Saints have still managed to go 2-1 in that stretch. Number 7, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes failed to throw a touchdown pass for only the 3rd time in his career and just the second since the start of his 2018 MVP season.
Shit bastard, get rid.
However,
Go back to Alex Smith. Much better.
while pulling a win out of the fire against the Lions, Mahomes still threw for 315 yards, officially putting him on pace to become the league's first 6,000-yard passer. And Kansas City still scored 34 points, the club's record 25th consecutive game with at least 25 points.
Can't see it happening. I can't see him getting 6,000 yards. That'd be absolutely insane.
It would be insane, but
It's Patrick Mahomes at the
it's
end of the day.
Mahomes at the end of the day. Number 8, Chargers 30-10 win Sunday over the Dolphins was their first in Miami since 1982.
Your man,
Mr.
P-Riv, I think he said something like he wasn't even born the last time they won there, and it was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you were, Phil.
Had he not already had 3 children by that point?
Loves having kids. Number 9, winless Miami did take its first lead of the season, 7-3, in the first quarter and held it for nearly 4 minutes.
I did quite enjoy that on Red Zone this week, watching that.
But at the end of the day, the Dolphins have now been outscored by the aggregate 163-26, including 81-0 in the second half.
Well, it's alright, it won't get any worse this week.
Who were they playing against?
They're on the bye.
They're on the back. If the Dolphins were, I mean, this is going to sound weird, but if the Dolphins were an animal, but if the Miami Dolphins team was an animal,
Right.
you would take them out of
I
that,
see.
I'm sure,
Okay.
at this point.
You'd put them out of their misery.
Probably
I'm with you.
wouldn't even turn them into glue because you'd be afraid of what the quality of the glue would be.
On the back of that aggregate score, I'd seen that was the worst since 1940,
The worst since records began.
Oh, God.
since people learned to count.
Shout out to the Chargers punter, Ty Long, who didn't punt once on Sunday. But he did drill all 6 of his kicks, 3 field goals and 3-point afters, while regular kicker, Mike Badgley, continues to nurse a groin injury. I mean, can we not use those words in that succession?
Nurse a groin injury.
Nurse a groin injury. I mean, we've all nursed a groin.
Hello, nursey. Come here, please.
Chargers running back Melvin Gordon was active but did not play after ending his holdout last week. Reminder to players angling for new contracts in 2020, make sure you're available in reasonable time to play against the Dolphins. Number 12 is Jaguars running back Leonard Fournette back.
Yeah, he was absolutely on one.
His 225 rushing yards on Sunday were a career high and represented his first 100-yard plus effort since his rookie season in 2017.
Went for over 200, didn't he?
225. Despite an uneven 2-2 start, the Browns are tied for first place in the AFC North for the first time since 2014. Go on, Browns. Cleveland's Nick Chubb is now the best former Georgian running back in the NFL. Better than Todd Gurley. Better than Sonny Michel.
Better than Ezekiel. Oh no, Ezekiel didn't play for Georgia. Ignore that.
Chubb rushed for 165 yards, 3 touchdowns on Sunday. Michel and Gurley combined for 79 yards on the ground and showed his breakaway speed on an 88-yard score, the longest in the NFL this season.
They've got the longest passing touchdown as well, haven't
They've
they?
got the longest
FYI,
pass and the longest rush.
Chubb had a 92-yarder last year.
Jesus Christ, he really is just getting his chub out, isn't he?
Wait.
Fuck me.
Top ranked a year ago but gutted in the off-season, the Ravens' defence has allowed 500 yards in consecutive weeks for the first time.
They basically seem to be the equivalent of Middlesbrough, but in the NFL. So they either have a really stingy defence, but can't get the attack right, and then as soon as they start getting the attack right, the defence just goes to shit. And then eventually what will happen is, if they are like Borough, what will happen is they'll have a shit defence, and they'll be shit going forward.
But they'll know where to get good heroin.
Obviously.
Well, cheap heroin.
On the plus side, they can't get relegated, but Borough could.
Listen to this week's podcast, did you? How nice.
Heyo! 16. The top 2 picks of the 2015 draft, Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, respectively, each played like franchise quarterbacks in Sunday's wins. Neither has a contract for 2020 yet, but both are slowly building cases that they deserve extended opportunities as starters somewhere.
XFL.
That actually sounded a bit Vince-like there. The XFL.
You've got to say pal at the end.
Pal.
17. Here we go. The Buccaneers and Rams teamed to score 95 points, the most in the NFL this season, in Tampa Bay's 55-40 stunner. Stone cold stunner. The clubs also combined for 154 plays, 63 first downs, 982 yards, and 25 penalties.
Ooh, is there a Vontaze Burfict stat in there?
No, I can do you Von Miller.
Yeah, we'll talk about Vontaze Burfict when you're finished.
Yeah, we will. The Bucs' 55-point score were a franchise record. Apparently, the Rams' defense misses Shue, who put the game out of reach for Tampa Bay with a 37-yard fumble return for a touchdown with 66 seconds left.
Insert massive obscenity here from me.
Motherfucking
19. However, it's Tampa Bay. LB.
linebacker.
All I could think was left back, and I'm like, wrong sport.
Left
but I'm like completely blank. I'm like, Tampa Bay's left back? Definitely not. Shaquille Barrett, who's shockingly the early frontrunner for NFL Defensive Player of the Year honours, he registered his league best 9th sack Sunday, tying a record for the most through a season's first 4 games, adding an interception and forced fumble for good measure. Broncos' Von Miller notched his first 2 sacks of 2019 Sunday, giving him 100 for his career.
They weren't just his first sacks. I think it was the team's first sacks as well.
Yeah. Arizona's Terrell Suggs. Honestly, I was like, T-Sizzle must have gone by now because he wasn't on the Ravens. I was like, he must have gone. Popped up on Sunday. Like
T-Sizzle.
Oh, T-Sizzle's there.
You know, from the University of Hard Knocks.
And Tennessee's Cameron Wake are the only active players with more. 2 more left. Daniel Jones is now 2-0 as the Giants' starting quarterback. Eli Manning was 1-6 as rookie in 2004. Anyway. And finally, the Atlanta Falcons have to be the most underachieving and disappointing club to this point of the season. The Atlanta defense didn't sack Mariota once, even though he entered the weekend having suffered a league-high 17 sacks. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the stats I have for you. Feel free to jump in with any of your own at this point in time. Go.
Seeing as we were sort of Pats heavy, one thing that I picked up on this week is 19 years since Bill Belichick's first win as coach, I saw.
Jesus Christ.
October the 1st, 2000. And they beat the Broncos, which I was like, people actually are managers for a long time in this one. It's not like soccer ball where they just change every 6 months or so. Watford. But yeah, that just caught my eye because I was like, well, as much as you might not like him, that's some good staying power.
It's that thing. I think the reason that people don't like the Patriots, Belichick, Brady, is purely down to how good they are.
Well,
success.
It's the Man United principle, isn't it? Like, successful teams
are
universally disliked.
Yeah.
That's why everyone dislikes Middles. No.
No, that's not why they dislike Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Middlesbrough loses money every single week.
Aye, so-
Because, you know, when you put anything in the they're going to score column, it generally...
Again, you've finally cottoned on well.
Oh,
played.
I've cottoned on all right. You check my scores this week. Jesus. Let's talk a little... Unless anybody's... Matt, you got any stats for the week?
No.
Matt's like, I
nothing.
didn't realise I had to do
Nothing
anything.
exciting. The only thing that I heard was that Mariota is the only starting quarterback that hasn't turned over the ball.
Yes, I
The only
also
guy without
heard
an
that.
interception. Interesting.
For all the mocking of him and saying that he's off to the XFL, that he's actually doing a decent job this year. He's just really boring.
Yeah.
You know, he thought he was going to be one of these running kind of quarterbacks, a bit like Josh Allen, a bit like Lamar Jackson, and no, he doesn't. There's no running to be done.
I think
It's not exciting to watch.
he's a bit like Tyrod Taylor for me, because Tyrod Taylor was always a bit conservative. He'd run for a few first downs and stuff like that, but they always said that his like touchdown to interception sort of ratio was always like heavily favoured in favour of the touchdowns, mainly because he never used to launch the deep ball. He'd only ever sort of like keep it short.
Yeah, short
And that's
passes
basically
and
what
stuff.
Mariota's doing. So
He was, I watched him in college in the last year that he was there. It was obviously Oregon and with him and Florida State with Jameis, wasn't it? And he was absolutely awesome. And everyone was talking about how great Jameis was. And you just watched him, I think, kind of late on in the season, possibly towards the what is it, College Bowl, whatever the kind of thing at the end of the year is.
Rose
And
Bowl.
He just looked
Na-
way better.
the Natty
Better.
Championship.
It was just like,
yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, you're always going to get like when players are in college. It's like which one? They said this about when the Eagles drafted Wentz and the Rams drafted Goff. It's interesting. I said they've both been to a Super Bowl. Obviously, Wentz was injured, but apparently the reason why the Rams ended up taking Goff was that he was deemed the longer sort of the longer term prospect, whereas apparently Wentz was more pro ready or something like that.
I'm watching the All or Nothing season with the Dallas Cowboys, and when they were going to draft a quarterback because they knew that Romo was almost done, they tried to trade up to draft Paxton Lynch. Didn't manage to trade up to get the draft pick, so had to then take
Dak Prescott. Well, he was a 4th rounder.
Yeah.
6'7" Paxton Lynch.
Just absolutely desperate.
And like one of the, I think it's the first episode because they were talking like the previous season, like when they were doing the draft and stuff. Like Jerry Jones is like, oh man, we've really missed out there. And then it shows the phone call to Dak Prescott. I'm like, I'm sure he loves watching back at that going. Yeah, cheers, coach.
The best thing about it is the fact that so going into that season, he'd just been drafted. He was the 3rd choice, so he wasn't even the backup that season. I think it was. I always forget his name, but it's the guy who was the offensive coordinator now. Was it Kellen Moore? Who was the offensive coordinator? I think it's him, but he was the backup behind Romo, and I think it was something like he broke his leg in the pre-season when Romo did whatever it was that Romo did that pre-season. So it basically just resorted to Dak. Can you play some quarterback?
The unfortunate thing is, as you see, like with Andrew Luck, it's the system of the team that you go into. If you go into a team that's like just they draft poorly, they don't set up a good team around you. If you walk into a team, you look at like Russell Wilson. You know, the Seahawks had spent God knows how much money on a Patriots backup to go there, and Wilson just won the starting quarterback role, but behind Marshawn Lynch and a really good kind of offensive line.
Yeah.
But then you look at Andrew Luck, and he's had years and years. He's been great, but also had years and years of injury and stuff like that. And that's what you surround these players with, isn't it? It's no good.
That Seahawks
don't
team,
around.
that like the Legion of Boom, when they had Lynch as running back and stuff, that was like top notch. Somebody might be ringing you now.
No, I don't think so.
No? Matt, you still there? That would be no. Matt has gone.
So,
Matt is still showing us
Oh.
being there. Matt! Maybe Matt was getting a call from Leanne's mum.
are you still there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, he's still in.
Still there?
He's back in the game.
Fucking technical issues.
Yeah, so
Must have been
now
Matt.
he's not here.
Must have been Matt.
Matt's gone. He was getting a call.
We'll try and get Matthew back.
The satellite link-up has failed us. Whilst
Whilst we're trying to
try
sort
to reconnect that,
We'll move swiftly on
we'll
to...
move swiftly on to talking a little bit of fantasy, shall we?
Can do.
Stu, do you want to talk a little bit of fantasy? Do you fancy talking to fantasy, Stu?
Honestly, no.
No?
It was a very, very frustrating week in the end.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago, Paul Williams said the phrase, the Americans don't like a draw.
They hate a tie.
They really don't like it. They need a definitive winner. Obviously, in NFL fantasy, that is not the case.
Well, I was obviously watching along with Red Zone, watching the little point score going up on the app, thinking I'm about a comfortable 15, 20 points or so, whatever it was in front. And as it got closer to the end of the first games, the gap just narrowed a little bit, and I was like, it's all right. Still got a little bit of a lead here. Still got on it. I even had an extra man to play, like compared to like your lineup as well. Yeah, I did play a cookie this week, so.
So me and Stu played before the last game of the week. I was on 76. You were on 73.
Yeah.
So I was winning at the start of the last game. However, you had a player left to play. Just remind me who that player was again.
Good old JR.
Yeah. Ross the third.
Ross the third. So there was 3 points. I was like, so that's a loss for me this week. That's fine.
You
no
say
problems.
that because I went into that game thinking the week before that he'd pulled a 0. The week before that he'd pulled like 20 odd points. I think it was. So it was very much a like let's flip the coin and see what
So
happens. So
law of average would be like 10 points done for the week.
yeah, and then he managed to damage himself.
I got up the next day
Damage himself.
and was like, it was in the afternoon. I was like, whoa! I got a message, email or something from NFL Pick'em. I was like, I haven't checked the scores. Went on to see 76.
Yeah, but my thing, I mean,
And,
that guy got injured, so that's unfortunate for me. I'm still not over the Rams defense because they just annoyed me so much. At one point, they even had -2 points, and I was swearing quite a lot at my phone at that point. I'll be honest.
So you and I took a draw. Like anything, it'll go down as however wins, losses, and now it'll be one in the draw column. I can only imagine that'll come into play further down the line, but right now, a draw's a draw. Miss Williams.
Well, I played against our live via satellite contestant, Mr. Moore.
Slightly live by slight satellite.
Yeah.
Matthew
Yeah,
Moore.
apart from when something flies in front of the satellite, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Space debris.
Yeah. I thankfully was able to pull out, eke out a slender win. Was that piss off that I did there? Just snuck in under the radar.
Wow. We like to keep a clean podcast here at Cookiecast.
So yes, please.
Please don't say
pure swears only.
fuck, shit, or bugger.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Or pull for your belly.
Yeah. I mean that also is.
I mean, there's that.
Accurate statements.
Pint of bitter for Mr. Moore. Says me, who's like been wonderful.
Yeah. Just standard. No one had a massive week. There was just a lot of standard scoring.
There was no big score.
Austin Eckler was obviously thinking, Melvin Gordon's coming back in. I'd probably better have a couple of more big fantasy weeks so I don't get dropped. And he managed to get 2 total touchdowns. So, yeah.
Obviously, at the point that I need, internet, the app to be working, or any of those things right now, that's not an option for me. So, can anybody tell me who they're playing this week?
I am playing the Stats Mistress this week.
You are playing the Stats Mistress.
I am playing Colin.
Ooh.
Obi-Wan Mahomes.
Tough game there, Matt. Ooh. Mr. Williams?
I have got everyone's favourite, Every Kittle Helps.
Fucking hell.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Matt, not you, Matt. The other Matt that's here. Oh, that's right. No, he's not here, is he?
He got his dates wrong.
Oh, didn't he do that last season?
He got his dates wrong.
Sure did that last
He might be here next week.
Too busy plotting his trade.
Oh, Jesus. I believe I am playing the taco of our league. Benji keeps Oxford Browns, the
You are?
unmanned. So, in theory, it's a freebie for me this
Free it.
week.
Bye week.
Definitely going to lose.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? Because he's got Tyreek Hill.
Who is apparently on the way back.
So,
Wednesday
however,
practice.
he does have either someone who's on the bye.
And as we all know,
He has Kerryon Johnson on the bye, so yeah.
a returning from injury player has got to be either the single most dangerous player to play against or injury prone.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Roma. What? Right, okay, so we've got a list of games for the coming up week. I think by now everybody knows the rules to this. Luckily for us, we've got 2 guests this week.
Does this mean double points? For
No,
the
it does not
guests?
mean double points.
I don't know.
No, it does not mean double point.
It doesn't because of what happened last week. So, last week, myself and Mr. Williams went up against each other and the guest, who was in fact the Stats Mistress. And following suit, Mr. Williams scored 5 correct points by predicting 5 of the 15 games.
That is absolutely shocking.
Do you want me to make you feel better?
Go on.
On the NFL Pick'em, I scored a big fat 4. Terrible week.
I did slightly better by predicting 7 correct scores.
Go on.
And obviously the guest gets another point this week
yeah,
because the Stats Mistress correctly predicted 8 games. I think it was quite early on that she predicted a game that you and I didn't and took points almost immediately. Although looking at it there,
Bucks.
I don't know which it would have been.
Probably Bucks at Rams.
So we've got there are buys this week, and as we've already mentioned, we've got 2 guests. We'll decide what happens with the points going.
Yeah, we'll sort it.
Well, as I've already made an appearance this season, shall we let Matt have the
Ooh,
casting vote?
look at this guy.
I've put columns for both of you down. You both get picks and stuff, but yeah, we'll see how the scores come in next week to see how we go about divvying it up. The first game I've got on my list here is the Rams versus the Seahawks.
A bit of Thursday night football.
Who would like to take a shot at this, and then we'll just rotate going up past. Matt.
I'm going to kind of give you an insight into the Pick'ems as well. That I've gone Seahawks.
Really?
I think it's just watching that defense, which really pissed me off considering I drafted them at the start of the year, because I was like, oh, they just picked up Jadeveon Clowney, that's going to be good. And then the first week, kind of just thought, no, I'm going to get rid of them. But it looked. I know it's against. Was it Arizona this week? and I know they're not much kind of caught, but they just look scary again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if Jared Goff is kind of, it looks like he's got a little bit of happy feet at the moment. So I think the Seahawks could get him get him moving and get him in a bad way early on, and
Has just come
take it
up
from there. So I'm going to go Seahawks with that one.
Has just thrown for over 500 yards.
Did he throw
Against
those?
the Bucks.
Did he throw those
Well,
500
yeah.
yards to the right team?
Yeah.
Not all of them. Definitely not.
No.
Well, no, because his receiving stats were his throwing stats were over 500 yards, and you only get yards when when you get reception.
Based on what I saw from the weekend's games, I would suggest that most of those yards came from the later stages of the game, because the first half he was just like,
Well,
Like I said at the time, he is becoming a little bit of a liability, that kid. I honestly don't know what's going on with him. Like I've said many times over many weeks, he is told to throw the ball to a particular place, and no matter what, he throws it. And I think I was saying on Sunday that I think it's getting to that point where he's been lucky up till this point, and I think his luck's starting to run out. And I think that other teams are better able to read what the play's going to be, so that they know how to intercept those balls. Because it's happening all too much now. I'll take a shot at this one. Having said that,
little stat. Apparently, the Seahawks are 8-1 in Thursday night games since 2010.
in a game like this, it's it's a bit of a head and a heart thing. I'd always more recently want to go the Rams. In this situation, I am going to go the Seahawks. Stu.
I'm also picking the Seahawks this week.
Really?
Yep. Purely for the fact that the Rams annoyed me so much last week.
A
But
sensible way to pick.
I suppose on that basis that the defence should have a rocket up their ass this week, and they have something to prove after how terrible last week was. But Seahawks are at home. They've both got the same record this season, so I'm going with the home team.
Seahawks at home, obviously, they've got the 12th and all of that goes with it. Mr. Williams.
Now, all sensible things would say pick the Seahawks. However, it's the wounded animal principle for me. So the Rams are coming off bad game. Plus the Seahawks lost at home last time to the Saints. So I will go for a Rams win.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got Jaguars, Panthers. Mr. Williams, kick us off.
Panthers are looking good again now. It's in.
Yeah, it's funny. They seem to have It's almost like the thing that was really holding that team back isn't there at the moment. I don't know what it could be that was holding back what could have been a really good team.
Shots fired.
I don't know what.
Cam will find you. He'll come and find you. He'll fuck you up.
He can come and find me. I mean, I'll have to get past his, big brimmed hat or slip-on shoes with no socks to find me.
Fucking douchebag! Wow. Yeah, I'll go for a Panthers win, but I think it could be closer than people think because the Jags have picked up. To be fair, the last couple of weeks, and who doesn't love watching a bit of Gardner Minshew?
Have you seen all the memes? There's just been this flood of memes. Basically, any meme you've ever seen in the past that has Chuck Norris's name, they've basically taken Chuck Norris's name out and just put Gardner Minshew's name.
It's just dawned on me now. I don't know if I've seen this, but he looks uncannily like Ben Stiller's character from Dodgeball.
Yeah, he does. So, two of my favourites have to be Gardner Minshew built the hospital that he was born in.
Excellent.
And when Gardner Minshew was born, he drove his mum home from the hospital. Stu, Jags, Panthers.
I've got to go with McCaffrey, surely.
Oh, run CMC.
I'm going to stick to my
That
my
kid,
fantasy points.
that kid is unbelievable. Did you see that third down conversion that he had the other week? Where the ball was thrown to him and he patted it up in the air and then basically just chased it down and caught it.
Me and Andy had a little message before the game, our game last week, and I said I was a bit worried because the week before he'd absolutely
shit out of the bed.
Yeah, big time, and then seemed to turn back up for work this week. So
yes, he did. I'm also going with the Panthers, Matt.
I'm going to go a little bit out of left field. I'm going to go Jags.
The Minshew magic.
Yeah. Been mesmerised by the moustache.
Everybody just keeps talking.
He obviously needs to join Moustache Mountain, doesn't he? There's a little tie into the wrestling podcast.
Right, Cardinals versus Bengals. Stuart.
God.
From what I've seen, this, as you guys coined the phrase, dross off last
It's
time round.
This is the very definition of the snooze fest game.
I'm the flip a coin.
Yeah, literally.
I'll go Cardinals because I've picked the home team so far. That's my reasoning. I'll go with the away team this time.
Matthew.
I've gone Bengals.
I
don't know why, they're both shit.
I have also gone with the Bengals. Mr. Williams.
Yeah, stick me down for the Bungles as well, would you? Seriously, these two teams are both candidates to finish.
Even their own grandmas wouldn't turn on the telly to watch them. Jesus Christ.
Seriously, of these teams, so of all the teams that are still winless, you've got these two, the Broncos and the Dolphins, I think is the only other. Oh no, the Jets haven't won yet either. Or the Skins. One of them's getting the first overall pick.
I saw.
I mean,
they've redone a thing where all the winless teams, they've redone all of their logos. So the Bengals was a Bengal tiger rug. The Broncos was the Denver Donkeys. So they changed the front of the face of the horse to a donkey. The Miami Dolphins was the fuck it, I'm off. And the dolphin was half out of the pitch.
Excellent.
Falcons versus the Texans.
Oh, God. This is two teams who just can't seem to get it going.
It is. But one of them's going to have to.
Texans.
I have also gone with the Texans. Matt?
Texans as well. It's just, they're more talented. Yeah.
And Stu.
I'm gonna play for the point. I'll go for the Falcons.
Good man. Bucks Saints. Bucks coming off a big win.
I don't think I'm gonna play for the points this time.
Billy Big Bollocks.
I'll give you my pick straight off the bat. I've gone with the Bucks.
Interesting.
Because I think coming off the back of that win, they're going to want to try and get a bit of momentum. And the Saints, I mean, I always think that a team, like a big franchise team, should never be reliant on one player. And the Saints have proven that, unfortunately, that is not the case.
They've still managed to grind out 3 wins, though, haven't they? So.
Yeah.
Matt.
I've gone with the Saints.
Stu.
Same.
Paul. Ooh.
I think we'll be seeing a big week from Senor Kamara. He's going to run all over that shit.
Vikings versus the Giants.
No one cares.
I don't know. The Giants are getting a bit of momentum with.
I think
Mr.
I've come to now that Joe Flacco's left Baltimore, I kind of feel like I need a new hate figure.
So I was going to talk about this. So I've always been like, Flacco's all right. I mean, Paul gives Flacco so much stick, and I've always been like, Flacco's all right. You know, he's all right. He's got a ring. You know, I saw him play on Sunday. Fucking hell, he's terrible.
Woeful. He's a terrible quarterback.
Awful.
However, he is slowly being overtaken by my new favourite hate figure, and that is the 100% guaranteed contract. Kirk Cousins. What the actual fuck is that guy?
I have no idea.
He's absolutely appalling.
So Giants for you then, yeah?
No, Skins. Not Skins. What about Vikings?
Left field. Just pick a team that's not even playing that game.
Not playing that game. Stu?
Is it safe to say that the winner is going to be whoever just turns the game onto one of the other games that's happening at the same time?
Yeah, basically.
I'll go Giants.
Matt?
Vikings.
I think the Vikings will win in spite of Kirk Cousins, not because of him.
The defence will make that defence will...
Yeah, the defence will stand up. Dalvin Cook will just run for about 350 yards.
Yeah.
We've got an even split on that one. I've gone Giants. Bears versus the Raiders.
But it's not in Oakland. It's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
It is.
It says Wembley on the...
Fucking hell's sake, I've got it wrong.
No,
Bastard.
It's Spurs.
Is it at Spurs?
I've got it down as Spurs.
Some people are going to be going to the wrong place, isn't it?
It's a bit quiet. Why did you get parked outside and everything?
What's all this rugby lark?
Stu, give us a pick.
Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
I've also gone with Bears. Paul Williams.
Bears for me.
And Matthew Moore.
Yeah, full house, the Bears.
Full boat.
It's going to be disappointing when the Raiders crush them.
Yeah, it's not. That is absolutely not.
They will not do that. Jets versus the Eagles. I have gone with the Eagles. Paul Williams. There's a lot of head shaking.
Samesies.
Stuart Woodmansey.
That's 3 for 3 so far.
And Matthew Moore.
Eagles.
Sorry, Jets fans.
But your team is terrible. Ravens versus the Steelers. I've gone with the Ravens on this one.
Me too.
So they've now lost 2 in a row, I think.
They have.
Steelers got a win, but again, it was against the Bungles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lamar can have a nice day. Ravens.
Matt.
Ravens.
I want a big Mark Andrews performance for my fantasy team.
No.
No, not that one, Matt. You're fine.
No, I've got thoughts on that in the wrestling podcast.
Tune in, folks.
Right, I've got Bills Titans. Matthew.
I've gone Titans.
Is that because of your Mariota tattoo?
Mario's the tattoo job.
Stu.
I just don't think the Bills are good. Would be the...
Good defence, though.
Seeing as Matt's just said that, I'm picking the Bills.
You are not alone, Stu. I have also gone for the Bills for this one. I think they were fired up. Paul Williams.
Yeah, stick me down for the Titans as well as Matt.
Titans.
The Tennessee Titans, yeah.
Do I need to ask anybody about the next game, or do I just write down the Patriots 4 times?
Who are they playing against?
Yeah, that's good for me.
Does it matter? Oh, alright, so it's not the Dolphins, but it's another really terrible team.
Oh my god, are they playing the Skins?
Yeah.
Yes! Well done. Shall I just write Patriots 4 times and move on?
Can anyone spell 40 burger? Jesus.
In fact, let me just add a little something to mine. I'm going to put a star there. I'm going to say that Brady won't play the whole game.
They don't pull him though. They don't. I know they have done it earlier this season, but they don't. They don't usually pull him from games.
Yeah, but when they do, then the other team start catching up, don't they? And then they're sticking back
Who
on
was
again.
Who was it against where they pulled him? The guy threw a pick. That might have been a pick 6, and they put it back in.
2 weeks ago.
He threw a pick 6.
Was it against the Jets?
Wasn't it the Dolphins?
No, because the Dolphins didn't score against them.
It wasn't the Bills
It
game.
must have been the Jets.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of weeks back, I think.
Yeah, Jets Patriots. Broncos versus the Chargers.
Andrew, I believe we've ticked over into the 9 p.m. games.
I believe you are correct.
Which way's the wind blowing, Paul, at that point?
Who knows?
Who
Who
knows?
bloody well knows?
If it's of any interest, I've gone with the Chargers in this game.
Me too.
Shocking that Stu picked the
Yeah,
Los
but
Angeles Chargers.
I'm partial to the Broncos on the basis I've been to their stadium too. But
Yeah, but the Chargers are playing at the StubHub Centre. It's basically an away game for them.
the StubHub Centre.
It's LA Galaxy's home stadium.
Matt
I've gone Chargers.
and Paul.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Broncos.
Charge!
Packers versus the Cowboys. Paul Williams.
Cowboys, but it'll be close.
Interesting pick. I've gone the other way. I've gone with Packers. Matthew.
I've agreed with you. I've gone Packers as well.
You do right. Stuart.
2-2. Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, how about them Cowboys? Colts versus the Chiefs. Anybody wants me to write the Colts down? Say so now.
Yeah. No.
There we go.
In Kansas City, are you a mentalist?
I am.
Oh, that's a point that we didn't bring up as a stat. Apparently that were on the
That wasn't a start.
the
That was a strike.
last game the Chiefs played was the first game Mahomes ever played indoors. All his other games have been played outside.
How has he managed that?
None of the teams he's played against have played in a dome. So the Lions was the first time he's played under a roof.
Wow.
Well, probably not played under a roof. I assume it's maybe a college team that he's played under.
Again, watching that all or nothing thing, when they show you the training facility that the Cowboys have got. Jeez.
The Star, pretty
Holy
impressive.
smokes, that place is insane.
that's pretty good.
And our last game of the week, the Browns versus the 49ers. I'll give you mine. Browns.
Interesting.
Matthew.
I've gone 49ers.
Ooh,
Interesting. Stuart.
I think I'll join Matthew on that one.
interesting.
Paul.
Benji Keek not here to tell us his reasoning for drafting Jimmy Garoppolo first overall, is he? Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. Browns.
Whoa.
Coming off a big win. Going to keep it going. Odell Beckham's going to get big receptions. Big yardage.
That, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of our predictions for the week.
Does
Good
it
luck
bring
to
us-
everybody involved.
Does it bring us to the end of...
It actually
Sure.
does bring us to the end of our podcast. Unless anybody has any other business. Matthew.
We didn't bring up the Vontez Burfict thing.
Oh, you've got other business. Go on.
So obviously he's now been told that due to continued violations of the player safety sort of initiatives and stuff like that he's now been banned for the rest of the season.
Yeah, so there was a lot of controversy over the back end of the weekend where there was a load of stuff where players should have been suspended and weren't for various different things, or they should have been suspended for certain games and all this. Yet he has been suspended for the rest of the season.
So I was listening to a podcast earlier that brought up a stat. I think since he's been in the league, he's been eligible to play in 96 games. He has been available for less than 50. So this is a guy that just keeps getting suspended because he's an absolute nut job.
I mean,
Nut job's a polite thing. He's just a thug.
He is that is basically it, isn't it? He's not out to play the game. He's out to hurt
No.
people.
It's a dangerous game enough as it is.
Yeah.
I think we kind of commented on the absolutely horrendous hit that one of the Pats.
Oh yeah, put on Josh Allen.
On Josh Allen.
There, that was nasty.
That's GBH. You didn't even make an attempt to tackle. You just fucking laid him out. And
Yeah.
Burfict's just as bad, and he's been doing the same thing for however many seasons it is now, and he's just a straight up thug.
Yeah.
I know it's a physical game. I know it is quite irritating somebody. But I mean, he's just the thing. I can't think. I read something earlier today, and someone said he just needs to be out of the game because he's going to seriously hurt somebody.
Yeah, it's not good.
Couple of things at the end, unless anybody's got anything else. Stu, anything from you?
No.
I invite everybody to do a search for the Virginia Tech football entrance video. It is, I just keep describing it as absolutely electric. Make sure you watch it with sound because the sound is important.
The most electrifying entrance in all of sports entertainment.
Oh, a little teaser there. Whew. It is
Paul's erect.
amazing the way that they enter the stadium.
You'd never be able to see that, trust me.
I'm trying to find the. No. No, I'm not going to find it in time.
I'll have to find it offline.
I'll have to find it and
Off the line.
Oh, there was the thing that I shared with everybody about the first touchdown scored at the Tottenham Stadium.
See, that is definitely at Tottenham then.
Oops, a daisy.
Yeah.
Sorry about Bayern Munich.
Yeah, well done Bayern Munich. First 7 points in that Tottenham Stadium. Oh no,
4 goals scored by an ex-Gooner as well. I bet that went down well. Shots fired.
So I've managed to find what I was going to finish up with. Tom Brady can throw a football 60 yards. Gardner Minshew can throw Tom Brady even further. Gardner Minshew once had a game where he went 34-31 with 4 touchdowns and a home run. And where was the? We've had the hospital one.
So obviously there's going to be like a Gardner Minshew fact in the same way there was Blake Bortles facts on Twitter.
The flu gets Gardner Minshew shots twice a
Obviously,
year.
yeah.
When Gardner Minshew left college, he told his dad, "You're the man of the house now."
Excellent.
And let's finish with this one. When Gardner Minshew goes to Burger King, he gets a Big Mac the way he wants it. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Matthew, for joining us via technological advancements. Thank you, Stu, for making the trip down the road. Thank you, Paul, for
Living here, apparently.
living here rent-free. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for tuning in.
Till next
Remember,
time.
laces out, people.
Laces out.
Laces out.
Big time. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
So there you go then, what do you think of that? Another podcast done, another week of the season gone. It's almost over in some ways. Not quite though, so a few more weeks to enjoy yet. At this point in time, you don't need me to tell you, but I'll tell you anyway. YouTube watchers, make sure you're YouTube subscribers. Everybody jump over to thecookiecast.com. Check us out over there. Send us some love in whichever way you want. So there we go. Another week done. Another podcast done. Another week of the season. And until next week, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.